on that note, like how we had talked about dedicating times to meditating, like
Mm-hmm.
in the morning and set time in the evening. So I started off with that, right, and trying to be also thinking about the sunrise and sunset. Um, but I realized, like for me, the sunrise time is too early, and I ended up falling asleep as well. Um, so then, like you said, is it just better? I mean, that's ideal, right? But if that doesn't work, is it better to just pick a time, whether it's like 3 in the afternoon or 4, when I'm more awake and more alert to do the practice?
So the two of the best time and why, just understand why people call the best time,
Yeah,
um, is because the vibrations around universe
yeah,
um assist you around that time more.
mhm,
You do not have so change happens every day within the magnetic energy, cosmic energy within the world that we stay in, right? And the shift happens from the moon energy to sun energy in the morning time, which is in India is called Brahma Muhurat, right? Which is an hour 30 minutes before sunrise. That considered to be around the best time. Say 2 hours before the sunrise is the best time, and then similarly around the sunset time when the shift is also happening from the solar energy to lunar energy as well. Although this period is little smaller, but then yeah, you get the point. The thing is, even if you don't do meditation at that particular time, it is okay.
mm,
But doing meditation at a specific time is highly advisable. Also at a space where you can do every day, and ideally a space where you don't do anything else or no one else does anything else in that space. Because when we meditate, I'll tell you reasons for both of them. Because when we meditate, and I'm talking about the space now, I'll come back to timing later. When we meditate, we generate that energy. In Hindi, there's a term called tapobal because meditation is a tap basically. Um, so we create that energy, meditative energy, higher vibration in us, and the energy around us of that place also changes, and it stays there till the time it comes into contact with a contradictory energy force. So if you do something else at the same place, you will have to create energy around you again every time you go there, which means that you will have to, like, if you take the example of, and this is one concept, the one thing I thought of yesterday, I realized, and I thought it will be a really nice way of explaining thing is um, mental garden or life garden concept. I'll talk about it in one of the weeks. So if you take the example of a flower, um, you have to put a flower in your garden. You have to dig it every day. Otherwise, if you're doing something else, because what you're doing, you are negating everything. If you're doing something else in that space other than meditation, and if you're not doing so, all the work that you did, at least some of it will stay, and next time you'll go, it'll help you meditate. The energy around you, you'll not have to clear all that energy, and the more positive energy you'll create in that space will save you from the outside influence of the other kind of energies. So that is why space is really important as well. It doesn't have to be a closed space, although it is, if it is a closed space, it is good. You guys will laugh if I say where I meditate in a closet. um, because it's small. It does not have anything else, and I can restrict who goes or who does not go there, and you can't do much, right? So if it is a room or something, it usually is used for many things or whatever. So yeah, you might think that I'm following some extreme method, but
no,
I'll tell you, extreme methods give you extreme results. It's when you do something which is unknown, you get unknown, right? If you do something which is known, like Diana mentioned, if you plant a seed of apple, you'll get apple. But in this case, if you don't know what seed you're planting, or if you will not know what you're gonna get until it grows up. So I kind of personally am more inclined towards not following a path, creating my own path and doing things differently. But I can tell you, this is some one practice many, or in fact, all the spiritual people will tell you that you should have one a particular space dedicated. Now coming to time, so we all know, at least I hope everyone knows, and if no, if you don't know, maybe you will know now. We all have other life forms. Human life is one form, animals, insects, birds, they are other life forms, but there are some higher life forms as well between us and God. Whether we call them angels, we call them something else. So when we do meditation, we try to establish that connection with our true self and with the universe. And whenever we try to do so, there's some help that is available. In fact, help is available even now, right now, for everyone else, everyone. um, so if you think of it this way, meditation is not just your time with yourself, it is your appointment with your spiritual forces, your spiritual helpers, if you call them, or masters, or spiritual gurus, or spiritual life forms, who will help you more if you do it at the same time. The thing is that there are many levels of spiritual forms responsible for people. There are some spiritual forms or life forms which are not as powerful, but they are always with you. There are some forms which are more powerful, but they are not always with you. They are responsible for, say, 100 people or 1,000 people or things like that. Um, it is like the manager or senior manager, or VP or CEO kind of thing, right? So the higher you go, the higher authority the person has. But how would that person know if you're doing something? The person who can see you knows and can tell you. So it's like that. If you're working with your manager and your manager sees you working, your manager would know you're working. But manager is only capable of giving you something. So if he will send a message to his director, hey, this guy is doing something great, why don't you come? And he will take some time coming, right? And by the time he comes, you're done with your meditation, right? Your work that he came to reward you or assist you for, because you're actually doing the same thing. You are working for the organization, right? You're creating something good for the organization. So think of it that way, that it is not just your time with yourself, it is your time with others, with your spiritual world. And the more time you spend there, the more help you'll get. But for that to happen, you have to dedicate yourself, or dedicate a time, fix an appointment every day that you don't miss. There are some circumstances that happen because of which you may have to miss your appointment. That's how I told my wife also. Think of it as someone waiting for you at that time, because she is that person. She doesn't like anyone waiting for her. So yeah, think of that way, and you will be able to fix up a time. But it is important also to know that if you fix up a time, do meditation at the same time, you will see, you'll be able to go deeper, easier, as opposed to you do meditation whenever it is easier for you. And everyone would say that meditate anytime, that's okay. Even if you're not able to follow the schedule, it's okay. And it's the same thing like Jacob asked, it's okay to sleep, because you're just getting started, that's fine. So something should not stop you from meditating. if I give 10 rules upfront, only very few people will be able to meditate, right? So I would say it's even if you're not able to do meditation at morning time, sunrise or whatever, any time is fine as long as you are able to do at the same time. If you can find that time, it's good. If you're not able to find that time, I will say do not let it impact you, do not let it stop you. At least do something, because something is better than nothing. If you can do that something in an organized manner, it will give you an organized better results. But if you don't do something at all, it will be difficult for someone to give you something. Think of it this way. I hope that helps.